choppy sand. Okay, that's definitely warmed me up. I'm gonna have to take a layer or two off. I am absolutely baking. Yeah, I think I've warmed up. Right, hello and welcome to another adventure. Today I'm out testing goggles, and this is something that has been properly pissing me off for quite a while now, really since I got into trail riding, because this isn't really an issue you have with motocross. So anyone who knows, who's watches the channel, you know, I've done various vlogs about goggles and the issues I've been having with goggles, and mainly goggles misting up, steaming up. So I obviously wear glasses, so that exacerbates the problem, being a glasses wearer. I've tried contacts, I just don't get on with contacts. I don't like contacts. I'm chatting to a guy who had to stop because he lost a contact because of the vibrations of racing and it went into the back of his eye. I chatted with another guy who wears one, but not in one eye but not in the other. So I can see enough without goggles. When I go out on my push bike, without glasses even, when I go out on my push bike, I don't wear glasses. Although I've bought these little things, they're awesome. They're like a little lens that I put in the bottom of my cycling glasses. That means when I just look down at my computer on my bike or my phone, you know, I can change my music or see where I'm going, see the map, etc. So they've been good. But I don't generally need glasses for cycling. But for trail riding, you know, I really want to see that clearly, that big stone right on the racing line, because I don't want to hit it. I've tried everything. Probably the thing I should do is get my eyes lasered. That probably is the next best thing to try, but obviously that's going to take time and money. So with goggles, let's recap on where I'm at and what I've done so far. So in motocross, on a muddy day, on a muddy wet race, you're going to use rip and roll goggles. So if you've not seen these before, rip and roll, they've obviously got this toggle, so you've got a clear plastic film, so you've got roller film on this side, and you pull this toggle and it pulls the film over to that side. So these are pretty good, rip and roll, or this type of goggle. But the problem is, once the water gets in behind the film, you're fucked. And say like at the Baja rally, when you're going through those massive puddles, you're going to get water in there and it's just going to screw it up. So rip and roll works in some scenarios, but if the water gets in, you're screwed. Also, Beacons rally, when I had an absolute nightmare, I was switching between 3 pairs of goggles, including rip and roll, didn't help. The problem you still get with rip and roll is misting up, so the goggles steaming up, fogging up, and you can't see. So then someone said, try getting some goggles that are double skin. So you can get goggles that are like double glazed. And so these are 100% goggles. I'm not sure which model they are. And as you can see, there's this sort of black line around here, and that shows that that is the sort of double glazing part of it. If you look, none of the other goggles have got that, and that is the double glazing bit, because it's a standard lens with another lens sealed onto it to make it double. And then at the top here, there's these holes at the top of the goggles, and behind that is some foam I suppose to stop the water going too far in. So I've tried that didn't work, and it definitely didn't stop the fogging up. And the problem is worse when you stop. So at the British Rally Champs, you'll be riding along and you're fine. Your goggles are clear because you've generally got air flowing over your goggles and getting rid of the fog. So all goggles work fine when you're moving. The problem comes when you stop or start going slow. So at the British Rally Champs, you get to a point where you have to get in a queue for a test. And while you're in the queue, that's when the goggles start to steam up. So you can take your goggles off and clean them and get ready. And then when it's your turn, just before you go through the gate, you put your goggles on. But in my experience, because I was so hot and sweaty waiting, as soon as I put the goggles on, they instantly steamed up and I couldn't see. And on a couple of occasions I've had to fanny around, I've taken the goggles off, and I've just had absolute dramas because of fogging. So the problem is low speed and heat and sweat is what's doing all of this. Yeah, so recently at the Baja Rally, I used these goggles with the Armour Vision film over them, and that works absolutely awesome. So for trail riding, I'm never going to use rip and roll again. Always going to use goggles with an Armour Vision film on it. So these goggles here, you can see that, but these have got the film on. And riding up here today in the rain, they've been brilliant. As soon as you get up to about 60, the rain just whoosh, blows away. Obviously, you know, you can't always get up to that speed. Yeah, so at the Baja Rally this year, chatting with guys in the paddock and, you know, at various points throughout the weekend, everyone is having problems with goggles. People who wear glasses, people who wear contacts. Even the guy that won the race, he was having to come into the pits and change his goggles because it was so smeggy and horrible and wet and muddy, and plus you've got your waterproofs on, so waterproofs aren't good for venting. You get hot and sweaty, and all that sweat, you've got nowhere to go because it's waterproof, and so all the sweat and heat comes up out the top of your jacket into your helmet, so it exacerbates the problem. So I was talking to this chap Rob, nice guy. Rob, if you're watching, hi mate. And chatting away, and Rob told me this story that he was, talk about name dropping, he was out riding with Chris Birch, and I'm fairly sure Rob said they were in a jungle somewhere. Rob, leave a comment, am I right? And everyone was struggling on this ride because of the humidity in the jungle with goggles misting up. And so someone said to Chris Birch, how comes your goggles aren't misting up? And he said, well, I've got a top tip. He said, you want to wear these Liat goggles. Now, these are the Liat goggles he was talking about. Now, they just look like standard goggles as you look at them, but these are actually Liat mountain biking goggles. And the big difference is, if you look at the top, they're just holes. So they're just full of holes at the top. And then if you look at the bottom, there's these two great big holes here. So obviously on a standard set of goggles, you've got the foam. Yep, so the foam is sealed to your face, whereas obviously with these goggles, there's a great big hole. It's got a bit of foam, but it's got the hole there. And then if you look at the top, on a standard set of goggles, you've got this thin layer of foam here, and then the sort of top, you know, the main bit of foam that goes around your face. Well, on these Liat mountain biking goggles, they haven't got that. The name of these escapes me now. They're something like a Velocity X-Flow. I'll put up the name on the screen now. And so these were the goggles that Chris Birch recommended to Rob. I had a bit of a problem getting these because there's no one in the UK really selling them, so I had to get them from the EU, but I eventually found a set. They weren't particularly cheap, but not mega expensive. Yeah, so it took a week or so to get them, but they were difficult to find, and I've not tried them yet, so today's the day. Now, problem I see with these goggles is because of this hole, when you go through some of those big puddles, the water's going to come over the top and then down and in and into the goggle. But obviously, so that was a problem I had at the Baja rally, going through the big puddles, and you end up eventually with water running down the inside of the lens. Well, then you can't quickly clean that because it's on the inside of the lens. You've got to stop, and so that is a consideration to weigh up when you are racing, is do you go fast or slow through the puddles. So that's one of the problems I can foresee with this goggle, is that. But obviously I could tape that up, and then maybe that'll stop the water getting in, and then you've still got this great big hole at the bottom to allow for the air to flow through and to help demist. Also on these have got little holes at the top of the lens, and I think that might cause the same problem again of water going in and running down the inside of the lens. But again, you could obviously just tape that up. I've got some clear Gorilla tape that's really, really good that I always carry with me for, like, you know, you snap your number plate, then you can tape your number plate back together or something like that, but still see it because it's clear. Yeah, so today I'm going to give these a bit of a blast. I did want it to rain. I've been waiting for days and days for a decent bit of rain, but we've not really had any. The only time it did rain, we had 50-mile-an-hour winds, and I wasn't coming out to ride in that. So yeah, it's a bit grey and miserable today, but no rain. So what I've also done, because I just think, well, yeah, okay, so they've got the big holes in the top and they've got that bit not there, but couldn't I then just do that with a standard set of goggles? So what I've done, look, I've taken these old 100% goggles that I had, and I've sort of made these into kind of the ultimate pair from what I've learnt so far. So I've got the double glazing lens, I've got the Armour Vision film on, they've got a hole at the top for a bit of venting, but there's foam behind it, so hopefully the water's not getting in, is not going to be too much of an issue. I've left all the foam in the top, so the water's not going to get in, but I've cut all the foam out of the bottom, so it's not quite the same as that, as big a hole, but I've cut most of the foam out and the little thin bits just to create more airflow. So this is what I've obviously just been riding to get here, and it's been fine. As soon as I put the goggles on though at home and to leave, they started misting up. So it clearly isn't a perfect solution, but so far it seems to have helped. I think I pretty much know that this is the way to go with the holes at the bottom and the Armour Vision film. That's probably as good as it's going to get. These I'm going to stick them on now and, you know, get a bit hot and sweaty again and see how I get on. The problem is I've tried, but there aren't the massive puddles that you can ride through that gets the water going over the bike. But anyway, we'll see. These goggles, standard goggles without that Armour Vision film on, start to suffer. So get up to speed and it's fine. I have sprayed some Rain-X on these, so hopefully, you know, that's helping clear the lens. But when you're at slow speed like this, and say you're going through a technical bit in a wood, so you can't go fast, then there's not a lot you can do. Whereas that Armour Vision, it seems to stay clearer, easier, and when you wipe it, it stays clearer. I mean, this is not bad, but not as good as the Armour Vision. surprised me, they've been very good. There is a big difference. You can feel the air flowing through. Yeah, a lot better. Right, I'm getting really warm now, so I'm just trying to slow down a bit and see what happens. That, and I'm knackered. Yeah, let's stop. Right, let's see what happens, give it a few seconds. What I will mention while we're waiting, if you are going to do something like the Baja, British Rally Champs, and you're not done it before, so obviously I'm aiming this at the inexperienced guys. What I found invaluable is this bag on my bars. I've just bought one for my T7, but that's not so much for rags because I don't really race the T7. But on this, being able to just, so I'm riding, look, riding, it's technical, I'm obviously going to keep both hands on the bars. You get onto an easy stretch or a straight, a straight somewhere, you can with one hand go, boom, grab the cloth, wipe your goggles, chuck it back in, and then boom, pull it across with one hand. That's not a waterproof bag, so it will eventually get wet, but it kind of doesn't matter. What I also carry is chamois, a little bit of chamois, because chamois is good when wet. Obviously you can wring it out and it still works when it's wet. It's a chamois. Yeah, we all know that because we do our cars and that with them. So yeah, so that bag has been invaluable. So look, I'm not steaming up. I'm trying, it's not steaming up. I'm actually a little bit impressed by that. Right, what I forgot to mention before was sprays and products. So, I've done vlogs about this and people have chipped in about things, all sorts of stuff that I have tried before, like Vaseline, spitting on your goggles, all sorts of stuff, like products. And to be honest, not a lot works that well. I mean, I have been trying this. This is the latest one I've been using. So this is the Muck-off Premium Anti-Fog Treatment. Yeah, so I've been trying that, and I just bought it off of Amazon. But most decent motorbike shops sell a lot of the Muck-off products now. So, so I have sprayed that in all the goggles, just to give it maximum chance of working, whichever one it is. But none of them have really ever been the smoking gun. Like I've seen a thing about potato, smearing potato on it, all sorts of stuff. So my go-to two products at the minute are inside cleaning. I clean the goggles and then I spray the mist on, that anti-fog stuff, on my glasses and on my goggles, and then I do the outside of the goggles with Rain-X, as well as, so I normally put the film on first, the Armour Vision film, and then clean it and then spray the Rain-X on. And I've got a little squirty thing of Rain-X and a claw in my bag. So like I said before, look, these are quite easy to get on over your glasses, as long as you've not got massive glasses and trying to do your best Elton John impression. So look, this is normally when they'd steam up, and they're not steaming up. They are a little bit, but it's not too bad. I must admit, I didn't think it was going to be awesome. Also today, it's the first time I've come out sort of raining proper in these waterproofs, and they've been great so far, but this is not a full review of them. I will do something proper once I've got a bit more data to feed back on, but so far I really like them. Right, okay. Yeah, they are really comfortable, which has been half of my problems, is glasses that just aren't goggles that aren't comfortable to wear over glasses. Over time, I find that they push on the bridge of my nose and on the bridge of the glasses, and your sort of nose really hurts. So these are super comfortable. Somewhere, I think it's on the inside. Yeah. Yeah. So there's the issue, is the massive puddles and water running down the inside. You see that? Fuck. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that was going to really be the... But it's obvious, isn't it? The water's... It's going to go in there, down the inside, because there's nothing there to stop it. Let's stick the other goggles on. The good thing is, though, look, I'm not misting up bad. You know, it's other goggles I would be now. It'd just be total fog. It is misting a little bit, though. So they've cleared off perfectly now, absolutely no fog whatsoever, and I'm not going massively fast. Right, so I've clearly got a face full there. The other one. So that's caused me no problems whatsoever. It's cleared off. I can clearly see. Alright, bloke kind of 4x4. There's a few of them. These guys go by. Just give them a chance to mist up. They love it. Misting up. You see, I'm misted up. So I can't quite see, but it's getting better, getting better. Bit of speed. Not quite clear yet. Right, water. Right, there we go. It's about clear now. How long was that? yeah, so I would imagine when they were with Chris Birch, it was in a jungle, probably not got a lot of big puddles like kind of here, you know, it's a hot humid environment, where here it's just wet everywhere, massive puddles. And that Armour Vision just works so good for clearing it off. Yeah. Right, let's stop, see what happens. It's really cold today, which helps because obviously, you know, that helps with the misting, is the cold and the heat, the two extremes. If I was in my normal goggles, they would be steaming up a hell of a lot quicker. I know that much for sure. Yeah, because it's quite a windy day, I guess. The wind is sort of blowing around. And I think as well, if you were riding and you were just to, you know, crack it a little bit there, say, and let a bit more air in, it would help. Yeah, I'm happy now. I think I've done enough to know that's made great steps to sort of sorting out the issue. Yeah, right, let's do this last bit. So I've got a little bit of mist and it's gone. See, when you can get that speed up, it's not a problem. They've been playing in the sand. I think that was a worthwhile experiment, certainly for my own mind. I hate being that bloke who goes on a trip, on a ride, and you're, oh, I've got these new whatever, insert, and you've never used it before, and you're just having an absolute cluster. So I like testing things before I'm out with the boys, because, you know, and especially this time of year, it's cold, you don't want to be hanging around unnecessarily. Burying her husband then. Yes, I think it's been a worthwhile experiment. I kind of guessed that, knowing what I know, that this setup would probably be the best because it incorporates everything and is not going to suffer too much with the puddles. I suppose what I could have done today was, with the Liat mountain biking goggles, I'm pretty sure they're called X-Flow, I could have taken them up and tried it, but do we need to? I think, you know, I know enough to know. Yeah, so, and plus the little holes in the front lens. Yeah, so it's been a worthwhile experiment. The only thing we haven't tried today is roost. And when you're following someone on a track in a race, let's just pull over here, you're following someone on a track in a race and you're completely getting roosted, then, you know, the dirt seems to go everywhere, and obviously it's coming from down up. But do I think the roost is then going to hit you? No, I don't, and it'll probably drop down anyway. Right, so I hope you found that useful. I mean, I definitely have. If no one else has, I've found it useful. Okay, so possibly think about liking, sharing, subscribing. all of that good stuff. It will make you a badass rider if you do. Honestly, that's all you need to do. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching the channel. Anything that you can add that we haven't covered about various products, I think we've covered them all. Potatoes, Vaseline, using contacts, laser surgery. We've covered all. If there's something glaring that even Birchy himself doesn't know about, then stick in a comment, let us all know. So, you know, come on, spill the beans, share the secrets. Anyway, enough waffling. Thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas. See you in the new year. Hopefully we see some of you at the Valley Light race, although I didn't get in. I missed the thing because they changed the date of entries and now I'm on the reserve list, so I might not make it. But anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, catch you later, bye for now.